You're listening to The Sports Memory, part of the Sports Moments and Memories with Craig Olson podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a sports memory. Sponsored by Lake Area Docks and Lifts and Pemberton Law. This special feature podcast is being brought to you by Pemberton Law. Pemberton Law carries a legacy of trustworthy and reputable legal representation dating back to 1883. Today's special feature podcast is being brought to you by Lake Area Docks and Lifts, with 5 locations in Minnesota.
Lake Area Docks and Lifts, more than just docks and lifts. Lake Area Docks and Lifts.
Welcome back for part 2 of our Lady Spartan feature podcast, a look back at the 2000-2001 NJCAA Division III National Champion Women's Basketball Team. Part 1 took us through the regular season and got us on the threshold of what would be quite an amazing postseason. The Lady Spartans ended the regular season with a record of 19-5. Heading to the state tournament, there wasn't a lot of pressure because they knew they would be hosting the Region 13B tournament, and that is where the national tournament representative would come from. So they went to Central Lakes Community College in Brainerd and won their opening round game in state tournament play, beating Anoka Ramsey 74-67, hitting a season-high 9 3-pointers in the game out of 19 attempts. But then they lost to Rochester, blowing a 15-point lead and turning the ball over 31 times in the game. Rochester closed out that game with a 63% shooting percentage over the final 20 minutes and won it 78-75. Then a loss to Mankato Bethany, 83-68, put the Spartans in a 2-game losing skid heading into the Region 13B tournament.
We fell down a few times, which I think helped us. Actually, that state tournament showing made us mad. And we just looked at each other, and to me it was a human thing. It was just kind of counting. They kind of got their chest swollen a little bit, I think, and not in a good way.
Well, when they got home and the crowd was packed in, they turned it around. They beat Rainy River 71-64 in the semifinals, and then knocked off Central Lake 75-52 in convincing fashion in the 13B championship, and they were on their way to New York. That was a long bus trip.
Oh, remember when we were going down and we didn't know something about the toilet? It stunk so bad in the back. And here's Naomi. She's
Craig, you never knew how long a bus ride was because the minute you got on and the bus started, remember, he fell asleep right away.
I did too.
You slept. How do you know how long it was? Because you slept the whole time.
I think he worked on his stats.
Not very much.
Arriving in New York, this team really didn't know what to expect from their competition, but they did know what to expect from themselves, and they did get the best of their season on the court in New York in the opening round as they dominated their opponent 92-66, Montgomery College of Tacoma Park, Maryland. Probably wondering what hit them. The Lady Spartans scored 49 points in the post and had 27 rebounds from their 3 post players in that game. Jessica Draper, who would go on to win the tournament MVP, recorded a double-double with 24 points and 10 rebounds to lead the way. After that impressive win, they did it again in the second round, winning 77-50 over Northern Essex Community College in the semifinals. Northern Essex committed 34 turnovers, which led to 31 points for FFCC, and the Lady Spartans did a great job defensively and also dominated the boards, 57-36, including 25 offensive rebounds in that game. So those 2 victories were very impressive. However, Manhattan was on the horizon, and that championship game would not be as easy as the first 2. Here's Brenda Johnson.
We were wide-eyed, and we were like, oh my gosh. I mean, they came in like they owned the place.
Yeah, they did.
And that everybody there was for them. And
They were.
the coaches were dressed to the nines, and they had, I mean, they had as many coaches as they had players.
Did they?
It seemed like, they just kept coming and coming and coming and coming, and here we are, Coach and I, and Renee was there, and then we
Renee was
had
there.
nine girls.
8 really, because
You know,
Rinky didn't dress.
and I
she
think
couldn't dress.
I know they knew we were from Minnesota, but I think they looked at us like,
They thought they were going to intimidate us.
you got it.
And they had 3 coolers.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, what? What's in those coolers? What's in those coolers? I do not know. How should I know what's in their coolers?
See, that's what I mean. Those were the questions we would ask.
Coach,
Coach.
What are they doing? And he had a guard in front of the door.
Yes.
And I was like,
He had
in
his
front
own
of his
guard.
hotel room. I said, Coach, he was a nice guy. What is that guard doing in front of your door? He said, don't you get tired, Coach? And I said, yeah, I get tired. And I said, said, well, I said, but not for my girls. If they need me, I'm up. That's my job. I mean, that's what I want to do. And he said, oh, well, I don't know whether the parents or who bothered him, but somebody evidently maybe playing time or something. I don't know.
yeah.
But he had a guard, and he wore a bright yellow suit, canary yellow,
With blue shoes.
blue shoes. He could have been right with us. I didn't remember the blue shoes.
Yes, he had blue shoes
Spartan blue shoes?
on.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
they
so.
were Spartan blue.
Oh, light blue.
But they were kind of
Blue
dark.
suede shoes.
But-
Here's Julie Hempker.
The Manhattan coach. I mean, his outfits were amazing. He wore our colors, I think, for
I
the
know.
championship game. I'll never forget that either. And I think coach even recognized that right away too. So
Spartan blue shoes, I think.
yes, the yellow suit.
Yep.
I mean, he had a suit every game, different color, but this one he chose to wear blue and yellow. And I'm like, you're playing the blue and yellow team, right?
Here's Naomi Morkey.
The height of the girls the last game that we played was, they were huge. They were so tall.
Here's Elena Fallingstead.
I remember walking on the court and seeing the other team and thinking, oh my goodness, these girls were huge. And I didn't know how in the world we were going to beat them.
Here's Kelly Martin.
We saw them in warm-ups. They were giant, had a lot of swag with them, and we knew we were in it from the beginning. It's going to be a battle the entire game.
Here's Heidi Malone.
Oh my gosh, I felt so bad for Jess. Because she was only 5'6".
Yeah.
So, I was like, oh my gosh, she's got a rough game going ahead of her. But, she handled them she just manhandled them. Like she was in and around and out and about. They didn't even know what hit them.
Here's Jessica Draper. 5'6" was your playing height, 5'7" maybe if we stretch it?
Yeah, if I had bigger shoes on, maybe 5'7", but
Okay.
I'm legit like 5'6".
So you're going up against girls that are 6'3", 6'4", and from Manhattan in this national championship game. What made you such a good rebounder? Why were you able to excel against taller players?
I'm one of those people that I love a challenge. I love it when people say you can't do that because of this, or you're not good enough because of that. And that's something that has always driven me, even before my college days. I love playing post. I love boxing out. I love the physicality of it. I love rebounding. I love throwing shoulders. I just love that. And so when I would play the Manhattan team or the Ely team, they were always big, solid girls.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times those girls don't box out. They just stand there and get the ball. And so I box out, I throw elbows, I push them back, and a lot of times they don't expect that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes maybe I'd step on their feet or pinch them or, do some cheap shots here or there. But I just would always focus on boxing out and playing physical and aggressive and pushing them around. And a lot of times those girls just didn't expect that, I feel like.
One of the girls in the comment in the program talked about you throwing a football block rather than a screen. You had a few of those.
I did. Those were, I actually remember one where it was like a half court it was like a fast break half court. I think it was either Heidi Malone or Kelly Martin were coming at me, and I'm like, I'm going to go set this up. And I knocked her on her, you know what? And I remember people were booing, but it was a clean screen. But yeah, I like doing those. Those are fun.
After seeing the size of the Manhattan players and the fashion expression of the coaches, some teams might have been intimidated going into that national tournament championship game. But Coach Brenda and Ann decided that we're going to stick with our playing strategy that we've been using all year long because it's been successful.
We stuck to what had got us there.
Yeah,
and that's what
running the
Coach
ball.
always said. We're not changing anything. We're not doing anything different.
No.
We'll go with what got us here. So I just carried on like I always did.
Yeah, she'd tell me how many minutes they were in and time to
Timeouts,
rotate
yep.
them, and so had a foul, and coach did this or that, or coach she's winded, or I don't remember anybody. You know, that was another thing. We were in such good shape.
Yes.
So we could outrun anybody, and because they had to, in practice, you know, usually people get a little blow. There
Right.
was no blow in practice if it was for the whole team, and they probably were on the line.
Yep.
You know.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and with only 8 girls to play in the game, they
Right.
didn't get many minutes at
No,
all.
and they didn't
so.
want to.
No.
That made them happy.
Oh,
there was
yeah.
nobody that came into my office ever and said, Coach, can I have more playing time?
Right.
No way. They were like, Coach, do you think I could get a rest?
Yeah, right. Did they get in your ear, Brenda, on the bench? Like, hey, Coach, I'm ready to go back in.
Once in a while, they would come and say, I'm ready.
I'm ready. They knew
I'm
what
ready.
to say.
I'm ready.
Yep.
I'm ready to go again. I'd be like, okay.
So I'm sure you know. Coach,
So you know, and I would
That
say,
was all right.
Yeah. And like
Coach,
Coach
she's ready.
said, you know, you can tell me things and what's going on.
I
That's
make the
fine.
decision.
But she
Yep.
decides, and I'll
And
listen
I
to
live
you.
and die by it. 'Cause
Right.
that's, you know,
Right.
it's not her fault. She just gives me the info. And
But they
then
were-
I would ask her, what do you think, Brenda? And she would tell me.
Yep.
They're ready, Coach.
That communication between the players and assistant coach Brenda Johnson and head coach Ann Williams was a critical part in the success of this team. And there certainly was no lack of excitement in the final moments of the championship game, as Ann Williams recalls.
But you know, I think it came down to that last second. I was analyzing that the other day. I don't know why it took me so long to get it. But you know, because I kept saying, what was that coach draw up? He did not think we would go man-to-man in the end. He had no clue that we were going to match up. Well, why wouldn't we? We're going to let him dribble the ball down the floor with a guard and shoot up a three? We're not that stupid. Because I remember my girls looked at me like, Coach, I said, get them man-to-man. Make them get up there and dribble the ball all the way down the floor. Preferably somebody that doesn't want to dribble.
Right.
Well, they designed the ball to go into the big girl, turn, throw a ball, let a little guard shoot a three. Well, they went into the big girl, but we were there. So what could they do? Dribble. And that was the last dribble that girl ever took.
Yep.
Because they never got a shot off.
Never got a shot
That
off.
was the key right there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it was good coaching, but it was. Because if we'd have let them take time, they would have had a good look at a three. And they
Yep,
were good three-corner
right.
shooters.
Right. The other thing that was key was Julie Hemker on the free throw
Yeah,
line.
yeah.
Wow.
Those
That
two
was a
free
clean.
throws.
Four.
Four, yeah.
Four. We were down by one.
Yep.
Yep.
She made all four. That second foul was just out of stupidity. Why? She was clear out there at the half court almost.
Right. Yeah. Makes you wonder. Scratch your head sometimes.
I don't know whether they were just so they thought they could pick her pocket.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't pick her pocket very easily.
No. Julie Hemker, I tried to put the label ice on her after the free throw shooting in that national championship game. Julie, how did you do that? I mean, there was a lot of pressure.
I have no idea. Honestly, I think it was just don't think about it and just shoot. I mean, you grab the ball and you don't look at the scoreboard or anybody, and I had confidence in my teammates to rebound if I missed it, so.
Here's Elena Fallingstead.
When Julie got up to the line to shoot the free throws, and I felt like everyone was just holding their breath, and then when she made those and everyone stormed the court, and I remember we're all on the floor, and it was just like the best moment ever.
You know, who'd you beat? New York. New York?
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, we did.
The whole season for the Lady Spartans was an ongoing example of what constitutes a true team, as is evidenced by the stats from the national tournament. In fact, Jessica Draper was named the tournament MVP. She had 44 points and 23 rebounds in the 3 games. Heidi Malone, 35 points and 4 threes in the title game. And Gina Schaefer, 31 points, 12 of 21 on field goals, and 9 assists. They were both named to the all-tournament team. Other numbers, Amy Scheck, 30 points, 26 rebounds. Elena Fallingstead, 31 points, 23 rebounds. Kelly Martin, 20 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists, and 12 steals. Julie Hemker, 4 for 4 on free throws in the final 34 seconds of the title game, finishing with 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 steals in the 3 games. Naomi Morkey, 15 points, 21 rebounds. The balance is obvious, and this team played some great basketball in Corning, New York. Winning the national tournament for the first time in the history of the women's program at FFCC was exhilarating, and it was emotionally and physically draining. And the Spartans got on the bus for one final long bus ride as a team. But they found some more energy when they stepped off the bus in the middle of the night, walked into the FFCC gym, and were greeted by a packed crowd of Spartan fans. Here's Heidi Malone. How much fun was it to walk in after the long bus trip back from New York and see a packed Spartan gym with your fans?
That was pretty cool. That was really cool. That was really, I don't know, it was just like very welcoming. Just like, holy crap, you know, we're awesome.
Here's Jessica Draper.
The fans, like, it's just crazy how many people would come out and support us. And then even for that welcome home, people coming out that next night and filling the gym. The community here at Fergus it's remarkable. And that's part of why you just got to love this place so much.
Here's Kelly Martin.
Really late at night, so I figured, it was just going to be our parents in attendance. And boy, was I wrong. I think I had, chills just up and down, and I don't think I slept at all that night because this on such a energetic high from the support shown when it was a packed gym for us. Late at night coming home from New York, it's a pretty big deal.
Here's Amanda Rinke.
It was amazing. It's like we were celebrities.
Yeah, you were. You still are.
Yeah, I'd never really experienced such a thing, but no, it was really cool.
Here's Naomi Morkey.
It was actually surprising, I guess. We knew that people were going to be here when we got back, but I think all of us can say we didn't expect that many people to be here. And it was kind of fun, people that I hadn't seen in a while came, and it was really just kind of a really neat experience because it was unexpected. I expected my family to be there, but not as many people as were there. It was really, really cool.
Here's Julie Hemker.
It almost felt like we were celebrities when we got back. It was crazy. The community came out when we got back that night. The gym was full. It was amazing just to see. We escorted in with the police, and I don't know if there was fire trucks too, but that was exciting. And I think it was a few weeks even after that, we were still being celebrated in some form.
Here's Gina Schaefer.
Incredible. Actually, when we first got into town, when they had the cops there waiting to patrol us in, that was pretty cool.
I think there was standing room only. I just remember there being a lot of people here.
I think the touching moment to me was when Rinke brought the trophy out that night at morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the court. When Rinke came with that trophy and set it down, that made me cry.
That welcome home celebration is something they all remember and will remember for the rest of their lives. And in talking to the girls about how special their time was in Fergus Falls, I think we get a hint that they really enjoyed their time as Lady Spartans. Here's Kelly Martin. What does it mean to you all these years later to have been the first team in women's program history here at M State to win a national title and to know that you're always going to be up there at that level?
A lot of pride. I have a lot of friends that come here for various events, and I usually always get the picture. They take a snapshot of the banner that's in the gym. So just a lot of pride into what we accomplished. It wasn't recruits from all over the nation. It was recruits right from, maybe a 90-mile radius, if that. That might even be a little generous. So just I think that was the biggest thing, is coming together in the rural area with one common goal, led by Coach Williams and Coach Johnson, who really took care of us.
Here's Amy Scheck.
Our fans, we had a bus of fans come with us, and that to me was special because I had a sister come, my mom and dad, all of our parents, and the bonds that they made when they were there. But just that bus ride and being with the team, and I remember playing cards and coloring and just things that, we brought coloring books, like we were 19-year-olds, like we're coloring, but those are the memories. Like really, it wasn't like, the games were fun, but the time just spent with our teammates and our friends. So, the memories, the games were our memories, but it's just that time, just as with each other. So it's hard to explain, but there's just a lot of memories, and I wish I could give them to other, like my own kids, and like, I hope you guys get to have these memories someday, but they're mine, and I appreciate them.
Here's Heidi Malone.
Just the team was really close, and we didn't, for the plays and stuff, we just knew where everybody was going to be all the time. So even if a play went the wrong way, we knew where everybody was going to be.
Here's Jessica Draper.
It really is a special place. It's a home away from home. That you're here and you're only here for 2 years. And so many people that graduate from here always say, God, I wish it was a 4-year school. Because you come here, and even though you're here for just 2 short years, everybody just takes you in, and they just love you up like you're one of their own, whether it's the faculty or it's the custodial staff here or people like you. I mean, you just get to know us, and you make us feel really special and taken care of.
Here's Kelly Martin.
And one of the things I'd like to say about, just Fergus Falls in general, the community, we get so much community support here when we played. And then I remember like our warm-up music and our halftime music or timeout music. And it's always stuck with me is someone here told me it's about the fans as much as it is the players.
Now I miss the girls a lot.
Yeah.
Because they were my reason really for living, I guess. I mean, they were my family.
Yep.
My family's far away.
There's no question that the players made an impact on Coach Ann Williams, but there's also no question that Ann made an impact on the players. Here's Jessica Draper.
She is just so passionate. Her passion is beyond, I think when you think of a coach, she's special. She's unique. She really could relate to the girls in a unique, different way. Her coaching style is a little different sometimes too. And she wasn't about flash, and she was just basic, basketball, just basic basketball, and the importance of we're a team, and it's not one person. You play together, and it was no BS. But she could find something in each one of us to pull out and make us shine.
Here's Elena Fallingstead.
I remember that she made everything very fun, and she treated everybody so equally. It didn't matter where you came from. She just made sure everyone got a fair shot, and she made everyone feel like they were the most important person ever.
Here's Naomi Morkey.
Coach Williams is just a hoot. She's just always so fun. She's able to tell you what she needs to say, but, she's able to do that in a tactful way. Sometimes it's like, you got to figure this out. Figure it out now. And Coach Johnson always was my rebounder for before games and before practice, so I was always thankful for her. And she just kind of always kept calm, So they were a great duo to be playing for.
Here's Amy Scheck.
She's a goof. Sure, her nicknames for everyone, her goofy little one-liners and all the things she would, say just to, I don't even think she was trying to be funny, but the things she'd say, and we'd be like, was that a joke? And we'd, all laugh. But she made everything fun, whether she tried to or not. It was fun, and she was never too hard on us. And I think that I really take with me because I coach just my son's team. He's 6th grade, but I try to do what she did. She made it fun. She made it where you wanted to come every day, right? whether it was just her fun personality and just carefree, but also just like her caringness about every single one of us, and treated us just as we were the most important person in her world, whether we were, there were 8 or 9 of us, but she made us feel like we were the most important person, and she still does. When I saw her out in the parking lot, she made me feel like I was the most important person in her world, and she is she is the best coach I've ever had, and I've had a lot.
One of my favorite stories about you, Ann, and my relationship with you over the years covering your teams is when I would come to your office to do interviews, whether they're pregame interviews or an interview for a coach's show coming up. We would just get started and your phone would ring. And it would be, "Hey, Coach, how you doing?" And it's one of your former players. And it happened, I'm not kidding, it happened time after time after time. And not the same player, former player all the time.
No.
But you have that great connection that you've been able to maintain with all your girls through the years.
Like they tease me, but I like people's names. It's the most important music you've ever heard to your ears. So I try to remember people's names, whether it's a janitor or, a restaurant person. Their name is their music.
You've been listening to The Sports Memory with Craig Olson. Sponsored by Lake Area Docks and Lifts and Pemberton Law. Produced by Sunroom Lab. Music by Blue Red Roses.